Welcome to the Harvey Hour. My name's Nathan Harvey. Happy July 4th. I'm with my dad once again, Stephen Harvey. Welcome back to the show.
Hello. Happy 4th of July, everyone.
I want to start off this Harvey Hour with what I had a Harvey Hot topic on, which is breaking news about Kevin Durant requesting a trade from the Nets, which was pretty surprising. It was a day after Kyrie signed his $36.5 million player option. So KD, I believe in 2019 or 2020, signed actually a 4-year extension. It might even be 2021. Signed a 4-year, $194 million extension, which we are now 4 days into. So a team will need to also take on almost $200 million plus whatever trade assets they do it. So we have a lot of teams that are in line for Kevin Durant to actually sign with. The Warriors, for some reason, have been involved with the trades. You have the teams like the Heat, the Phoenix Suns. Toronto now has the second best odds to get Kevin Durant. You also have other teams like Chicago. They're also doing their due diligence on it. Jazz, Knicks even, Lakers, Trailblazers, all of them. Celtics even, trying to see whether or not they have enough to trade Kevin Durant, or even if it's worth trading for Kevin Durant. So I want to know your reaction to him requesting a trade, and what do you think, which team do you think he'll be on and why?
I'm not surprised at all he asked for the trade. I don't think he wants to play with Kyrie Irving, and he sent him a message. As soon as Kyrie signed his extension, he asked for a trade.
Right.
That says it all, and I don't blame him. I think that he probably views that as a mistake. We've talked about this before on prior shows, and I'm not surprised at all that he asked for the trade. And I think the team he'll go to is Miami.
Okay. But why do you think he'll go to Miami, though?
Because I think Pat Riley's done these deals before. He wound up getting LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade all playing together for quite a bit of time there, and that looked like an impossible thing to do, and he did it.
Right.
And I think it will take more than 2 teams to get it done. Maybe even take 4 teams to get it done. But I think they'll find a way, and that's where I think he's headed.
I would say, well, first I want to say this about Kevin Durant. I think it's pretty obvious now that Kevin Durant is not a leader. He's more of a follower. And he's also a very thin-skinned superstar. Because you get him riled up on Twitter after calling him bad, or you get under his skin very, very easily. And I think that Kevin Durant, he is one of the best players in the NBA right now. I would probably put him in my top 3 or 4 in the NBA right now. But for some reason, he cannot win by himself. He cannot lead a team by himself to win.
Well, that's pretty tough to do. Not many have done it.
But what he does, right?
LeBron did it once.
Yeah.
Once.
He brought a horrible Cavs team all the way to the finals. He got swept. And he also did it in, I believe it was 2018, bringing that team with basically nobody.
He got to the finals and won it, too. He did it against the Warriors.
That wasn't with nobody, though. He had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love.
Yeah, true.
But without anyone, he did it maybe twice. 2018 with the Cavs, and then I believe was it 2006?
He didn't win it all, though, with nobody.
No, he didn't win without anyone. No. But Kevin Durant, he's front running right now. Look at the teams that he requested to do. The 60-plus win Suns, the Heat, who almost made it to the NBA Finals. For some reason, the Raptors are up on here. They're second favorites right behind Phoenix. Phoenix, according to Vegas, has a 62% chance to win.
You think Kevin Durant wants to go to the Raptors?
That apparently this is now the second highest odds according to DraftKings. Is the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors.
I wouldn't think he'd want to be up there.
They have Pascal Siakam, who he's good. Fred VanVleet, who's pretty good.
Yeah.
Gary Trent Jr. So he's pretty. Scotty Barnes is very, very good. You have a few guys that are on expiring contracts. You have Chris Boucher. He's on expiring. Thaddeus Young's on an expiring contract. He's actually old, 34 years old. So compared to the Phoenix Suns, but the question is though, who are we going to trade though? Because he's not a free agent. You can't sign and trade him.
Yeah, but
he's on the Nets.
You know what? He'll be unhappy. You can't keep him either because there's no point in having him there being unhappy.
You could though. I don't think Kevin Durant would sit out. Yeah, you said you might request a trade.
I wouldn't sit out, but where are they going to go? I mean, do you think Kyrie Irving's going to still be there?
No. I think Kyrie Irving, regardless, we'll talk about this later. I think he'll be gone regardless of the player option. I don't think he'll play for the Nets this year. He might play for a month, if he can even, depending on what New York's vaccine thing is. But I think eventually Kyrie Irving will be off of the Nets. But the Suns already said they're not going to trade Devin Booker. Devin Booker just signed a supermax, so he's not going anywhere. You have Chris Paul, who's going to be on the team for another 3 years. He has 3 years left on his contract. DeAndre Ayton, this is last year, so who knows what will happen with him.
Wow.
Jay Crowder, Cameron Payne, Mikal Bridges. So you have some of these players. Mikal Bridges. JaVale McGee, he's gone. Like I don't see many trade value players for Kevin Durant. Well, I mean, would you get rid of Chris Paul?
Well, Chris Paul's no youngster.
Yeah, that's true. He's he's 37 years old.
Yeah. So, that's another thing about Kevin Durant. A team like the Celtics, would they really be interested in Kevin Durant? I mean, he's a great player. He's getting on the old side, and he had a serious injury. He had that Achilles injury. Can you count on him to be there another 3 or 4 years in terms of being a top-flight player, given his injuries, that serious injury, and the fact that he's getting a little bit older? I mean, the Celtics have a very young team. Why would they trade, either Brown or Tatum for Kevin Durant? I don't think that would make much sense. I think they made the better moves, actually, for them. But if Miami gets Kevin Durant, they're going to win this. I think I'd be the favorite to win the championship.
But who would you try to, I guess you would have to give up who? Because I'm looking at it right. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, PJ Tucker, Tyler Hero. And then you have Udonis Haslem, who's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
42 years old. You have Victor Oladipo, maybe. But I think, honestly, I agree with you. I think the Heat are probably the best option, or the highest chance to actually make a trade for him. Phoenix, I'm looking at the Phoenix. Who are they going to trade for him? I don't see anyone that's worth
I'd say
in multiple in a large package deal.
Oladipo and Tyler and Hero and 3 first-round draft picks.
That probably would work. Yeah. Because then you have, Victor. Yeah. No, I would definitely say that might be able to actually work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Victor Oladipo was on an expiring contract, so maybe you wouldn't like that. And the reason why Kevin Durant is so valuable is because he's on a 4-year contract. If this was on an expiring deal, you might actually be able to get a little bit less. But this is the fact that he's on a 4-year deal that he's 4 days into. So he has basically a full 4 NBA seasons worth of it.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I think the Heat are probably the best chance, even though Vegas says the Suns are. But I don't know how the Suns would even trade for him, because supposedly this is going to be a trade like we've never seen before.
Yeah, I think it's going to require more than 2 teams to get it done.
It very well might.
I don't think Donovan Mitchell, he's not happy with the Jazz, right? He'd like to move.
Yeah.
So somehow you might wind up finding a way to get him to the Nets.
Okay.
Somehow. I don't know how that would work. That's pretty complicated, but I think it will play out over the next few weeks. Actually, it may drag out, right?
I think it is going to drag out, and especially because the market is now weird, because Rudy Gobert got traded a couple days ago to the Timberwolves for an absurd pick. The Timberwolves got Rudy Gobert, and the Jazz got Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, Leandro Balmaro, don't know who that is, Walker Kessler, don't know who that is, Jared Vanderbilt, sort of know who he is, a 2023 first-round pick, 2025 first-round pick, a 2026 pick swap, a 2027 first-round pick, and a 2029 first-round pick protected. He got essentially 5 first-round picks just for Rudy Gobert. That's all the Jazz gave up for that much. So the market right now,
the Jazz got all of that. They got all those players. They got all those players and all those picks for that guy.
Just for Rudy Gobert.
Wow.
Now Rudy Gobert.
Which team do you go to?
The Timberwolves.
Oh.
Now Rudy Gobert is a phenomenal defensive player. He's won several defensive awards. He was a 2026 to 17 block champion. He's a 6-time All Defensive player. He won the rebound. Most rebounds in the league last year with 14.7. 4-time All-NBA player, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. His offense is not great, though. He does not play. He's way more of a defensive player than an offensive player. So the fact that the Jazz were able to, or the Timberwolves were able to basically get Rudy Gobert, and the Jazz got all of that, the market right now is a little bit questionable. So that's why this Kevin Durant trade, I think the market needs to settle down a little bit because of what just happened. It's the same thing in the NFL with Deshaun Watson. The Browns gave him $230 million fully guaranteed. What's that going to do for young quarterbacks like a Joe Burrow, a Lamar Jackson, a Kyler Murray? All these young quarterbacks who expect Justin Herbert, who expect big contracts.
Yeah.
And you see a guy who has some serious allegations against him come out with $230 million fully
as
guaranteed.
I've said in past shows, that's the Browns. They make kind of stupid mistakes.
Well, this is sort of the same thing with a team trading that much away for a player who isn't really worth essentially 5 first-round picks.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So that's why this Kevin Durant trade, when I take a look at, the Suns, I'm like, who are they going to give up?
Well, the Timberwolves have never done anything anyway. Right?
They made the playoffs. You got that.
But they've never gotten very far.
No, they have not. Yeah. No, even with Kevin Garnett, they didn't make it very far. But
I mean, they had Wiggins on their team.
They
right?
did.
They had Wiggins and they had Town. They should have hung on to Wiggins. I don't know why they traded him.
Wiggins, people saw Andrew Wiggins as a bust, and it was kind of hard because the Timberwolves were losing culture, and you throw a number 1 pick in there, and the spotlight's directly on him to basically make or break the team. And when he doesn't come up, most of the NBA is about culture, though. Your coach. I mean, take a look at the Celtics. They were absurdly terrible midway through the season. Then Ime Udoka built up the culture, and it's like you have to play defense every single drive. Every single time you're down the field, play defense. You build into a culture. They swept the Nets, who were favorites to win it all in the preseason last year. Then you go in, you beat the Bucks in 7 against Giannis, who was the previous NBA Finals champion and MVP. You go in, you play the Heat, look a little bit shaky there, but able to come and win in 7 games, 6 games, 7 games.
7 games.
And then you go up against a Warriors team, which was just better than you.
Yeah,
but you made it to 6 though.
They got outcoached in that game too.
Yeah, so it's about culture.
That series, yeah.
And you saw the exact thing with the culture with Andrew Wiggins. He goes from the Timberwolves, losing culture,
the Warriors have
to
a
the
great
Warriors.
culture. The Warriors have a great culture. I'm surprised Kevin Durant left it. He's probably regretting it now. He could have had 2 more. He could have had 3 more championships probably.
I feel like Kevin Durant sort of, he wanted when he went to Golden State, and then he won 2 NBA Finals MVPs and 2 NBA Finals. I think he wanted the fan base to say, oh, Kevin Durant, thanks for being on our team. You make our team. We couldn't do this without you. But I think he knew deep down, and the fans always knew that this would always be Curry's team. And I think he had a problem with that.
Maybe.
And I think as soon as he got hurt, he didn't win the third one, he had to go.
When he went there, a lot of people said, yeah, he's just going there to get a championship because this team can win one without you. Right. So then he wanted to. Then he said, well, I got 2 here. I was Finals MVP. Let's see. I want to go somewhere else and do it again.
And it completely backfired.
It backfired totally. But that's because he went with Kyrie Irving. If it had been another elite player, if he'd gone to Phoenix instead of the Nets, or he'd gone to the Celtics instead of the Nets, or he'd gone to Miami instead of the Nets, he probably would have gotten the championship.
This is a dangerous move for, I guess, the perspective of your legacy, how people would view your legacy. You go from one team with Russell Westbrook, James Harden, to eventually just you and Russell Westbrook. In 2015, a 3-1 lead against the 73-win Warriors. Blow that 3-1 lead in the playoffs. The Warriors ended up losing to the Cavs in a 3-1 lead, which was, I guess that's it is what it is. Then Kevin Durant leaves Russell Westbrook after that, after losing 3-1 in the conference finals, to then join the team who beat you, who came back from 3-1. Go to 3 straight, win 2, should have won 3 straight if you and Clay didn't get hurt. Yeah. Decide to leave that team to join up with James Harden and Kyrie Irving on the Nets.
Well, James Harden wasn't there.
Later. You bring in after the first season, which wasn't even that good. Say we need a third guy. You get James Harden, that backfires on you, and then you're like, you know what? I can't stand one guy being so inconsistent with his personality and his basketball play to then try to join another team, except this time you're not going to try to join a team that you could win on your own. You got to join a team which was a number 1 seed as your 2 favorite teams that you said you wanted to join. So he's just going on a team where he wants to win now. I mean, at this point, he's just trying to ring chase. He's not even trying to build a legacy saying, I can make it to a finals with a team that, you know what, I'm the leader of.
Yeah, well, he can't do that with the Nets.
He tried to.
He's recognized he can't do it, though, and now he wants out.
And I think for his
But now
legacy,
he's
that puts a
going.
little
It seems
stain
like
on
he's
it.
changed his. Well, I don't know. We'll see where he lands, where he winds up.
Well, it's not going to be with the Nets. I don't think, honestly, I mean, the Warriors is such a weird situation because everyone knows winning, it's like money to the average person. Money heals almost every wound with anything, right? They say money can't buy you happiness. That's a damn lie. That you could buy your happiness. That's the sad truth about it, right?
I don't know about that.
We have dreams, right? You have a dream house, a dream car, a dream outfit, a dream computer, dream anything, right? You need money for that.
Yeah.
And that's the same. Winning in sports is the money to the average person. Winning heals everything. Brady and Belichick, when things went sour, keep winning.
Winning generally fixes any kind of cultural problems.
Think about this. People said Curry's never won a Finals MVP. He can never be put in the top 10. He's not even compared to the all-time greats. He wins a Finals MVP. Now people shut up about it, right? Winning heals everything.
Yeah.
So Kevin Durant trying to find a simple win to have people calm down about the fact that he blundered in the Nets.
I think it's going to be with Miami Heat. That's what I think.
I think if the best situation to win. Now, if we take away the logical sense about trades or whatever, and we just think purely about winning, it has to be the Warriors. The Warriors are the most complete team. It would be funny if it's the case where Kevin Durant goes back to the Warriors after leaving them, 3-4 years ago at this point now. So I just feel like if
I don't know what the Warriors, what could they give up,
the rumored trade package would be Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and James Wiseman. James Wiseman's the funny part because
it's a lot to give up.
It is, but I think any team would need to give up a lot. That's, again, I harp back to the Suns. How are the Suns going to be able to, because you're not trading Booker. I don't think you'll trade Chris Paul. Who else is worth it?
I didn't say the Suns would get him.
I know, but right now the Vegas has them as the best odds to get him at 62%.
Really?
Yeah. The Heat are, I have it here. The Heat, where are they? Brooklyn sits at plus 850. And then Miami and Chicago sit plus 950 and plus 1,000 plus 950 for the Heat.
That's pretty high then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
The Nets, they have them in there as retaining him.
The Nets have higher odds to retain him than Miami and Chicago have at getting him.
Oh.
So I understand why the Suns. I mean, if you're thinking about just KD on the Suns, that makes perfect sense. They'll win almost instantaneously, right? That's what he thinks because they just won 60 plus games. So I mean, I think obviously they have the best
good for
odds.
Chris Paul, maybe that would get him over the top. He hasn't won a championship yet.
He is 37 years old. At this point, he just has to go try to win. He has to go. The Suns, basically, I think, if they want to get Kevin Durant, they need to go all in for Kevin Durant and just for the sake of Chris Paul. Chris Paul's 37. I think, you know what, there's a curse on him for losing. I think he lost 4 Game 7s in a row in the playoffs.
I know.
So I think, you know what, I think this...
Who's the backup point guard in Phoenix?
Oh, I just had it up here. Give me a sec. The backup point guard for Phoenix... I don't think there's anyone like that well-known position. Elfrid Payton and Cameron Payne.
Yeah.
And Aaron Holiday. Those are the 3-point guards last year to back up Chris Paul.
Nobody I ever heard of.
Well, Elfrid Payton, he was on the Magic. Then he went over to the Suns. Yeah, he's been on the Suns, Pelicans. And he was on the Knicks for a year or two.
Okay.
And then Cameron Payne, he's been there for, I think, a little while, actually. Yeah, he's been there for a couple of years. He played for the Thunder, the Bulls, Cleveland as well. So these guys aren't anything great. So, I mean, and Aaron Holiday, I've never even heard of Aaron Holiday. He played for the Pacers, Washington, and Phoenix.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch. Let's see what happens.
So you really think Heat?
I do. I think they'll find a way to get it done. If they probably really want him. I mean, that would definitely put them over the top.
Yeah.
If they can hang on to the key pieces. You know, they have to hang on to Jimmy Butler.
Right.
They Bam.
Adebayo.
They got to hang on to him. And what else do they have?
You think they hold on to Kyle Lowry?
Yeah, why not? He's old. And then what he's going to want him? He's 37 years old, right?
Yeah, he would turn 37.
He's okay. He's not great.
No, he's not great. No.
Great.
No.
So I think they'll hang on to him.
So your package
And,
deal would be
I think they would lose
Oladipo and Hero.
Oladipo and Tyler Hero.
That's interesting. You would give. I mean,
I'd give those two guys up. Yeah. To get Kevin Durant, they probably wouldn't accept that, but they'd have to throw in the first-round draft picks, which might not be that valuable if Kevin Durant's there, because he'll be the last pick in the first round every year.
could be
Right?
what 3 to 4, 3
Yeah.
to 4 first round picks.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be crazy.
they give those up easily, right? Because they ain't going to be worth much. By the time you get down to the 15th, 16th pick, there's no more. The players or the fall off in the talent is pretty steep.
Yeah, it's very hard to find great
You
talent.
don't get great talent coming. Very rarely do you get great talent and picks that are down the list very far. That's why they go find so many players in Europe now that come over and play. You know?
Yeah. I'm thinking about that. That's a crazy core. Lowry, Butler, KD, Bam. That is a dangerous 4.
Yeah.
Because Bam Adebayo right now is the 2 for offense, but he's much more of a defensive player. You put KD in there, he's the 2 for both offense, and he could probably be a 3 for defense as well. So that is a crazy
You
core.
could make an argument the Heat overperformed for with the talent they had, and
they were the.
you know.
I mean,
I don't think they really didn't have a superstar, right?
yeah, Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler is
And-
good.
and
He's up there, but I'm not sure you consider him a superstar.
Yeah, Bam did not play great in the playoffs. He averaged under 15 points and
They played great
8
defense.
rebounds. They did. They played very, very good
The
defense.
teams that play great defense go pretty far.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Warriors' defense. My God,
Yeah.
they got great defense.
They also have phenomenal ball handling and passing.
Yeah.
It's
No, they have great coaching.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to take our first break here. We're going to be right back in about a minute or two after a word from Anchor.
You have a lot to say. Maybe you've thought, I should start a podcast. Meet Anchor, the easiest way to make a podcast ever. It's a powerful mobile app and web tool that lets you record a podcast anywhere and distribute it everywhere. It's great whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out. And it's 100% free. You can record your show straight into Anchor on your phone, iPad, or the web, using any mic you want. Record alone or with friends or co-hosts anywhere in the world. You can add background music and transitions, and your listeners can send you voice messages that you can incorporate right into your next episode. If you want to produce your show using another app, you can upload your own audio directly from web or mobile, and still take advantage of Anchor's totally free podcast hosting. Once your podcast is ready to publish, Anchor can automatically distribute it to every major podcast platform. That includes Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, so your listeners can hear your show wherever they want. And on the web, you can see detailed analytics about how people are listening. Plus, you'll get a great-looking profile page where anyone can listen to your podcast or subscribe to it. And if you want to ask your audience to support your work, Anchor makes it easy to collect monthly payments from the people who love your podcast and want to see it grow. You really don't need a recording studio, expensive equipment, or a bunch of technical knowledge to deal with a podcast feed. Just get started and join the diverse community of podcasters already on Anchor. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
Introducing video podcasts on Spotify.
Transform your storytelling into a show everyone can watch
Or listen to.
Easily upload your video through Anchor, Spotify's free podcast creation tool.
So whether you're showing off a new recipe
Interviewing an exclusive guest,
or uncovering the next mystery,
you can now reach a whole new audience with Spotify.
podcasting just became more than audio.
Create with Anchor, watch on Spotify.
Welcome back to the Harvey Hour. My name is Nathan Harvey. That's my dad, Stephen Harvey. I want to talk to you again about Kyrie Irving. More news is breaking about Kyrie Irving as the days continue. More so speaking about a trade that I think will happen, that I've been told multiple times by people around me that thinks that it would not happen. And that is Kyrie going to the Los Angeles Lakers, in essence, for basically a swap. Which you can't basically do 1-for-1 swap, but it would essentially be a swap. Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving. I think this actually will happen. I don't know why exactly the Nets would do it, have Ben Simmons and Russell Westbrook on it, but I think in order to get Kyrie from the Nets to the Lakers and pair him up with LeBron for the first time since the 2018 Finals and the 2018 Cavs. He left after 2018 to join the Celtics, which ended up being a complete blunder. I think you will need to trade Russell Westbrook, get him off the Lakers, which they tried to do last season anyway. That was the big rumor. Try to get him off the Lakers because he just wasn't playing very well. So I want to ask you, what do you think would need to happen in order for the Lakers to get off of Westbrook and for the Lakers to get Kyrie back? And do you think this is actually a smart move for both teams?
I think that it's up to the Nets whether they'd want to give up Kyrie Irving for Russell Westbrook. I'd say that Westbrook, he's got, I'd say the issue with Kyrie is his mental attitude, right? And his, he's unpredictable about what he might do. He might be great and play, or he might be, I'm not getting the vaccination. I've got to be away from the team and all this craziness that he's put the Nets through, which was really ridiculous, I thought. You get Westbrook, he's a pretty, level-headed guy. But he's a little bit past his prime, I think.
Right.
And does he play? What position does Westbrook play these days?
He plays guard.
He plays shooting guard.
Point guard.
Point guard.
Right.
Yeah, his 3-point shot is not that great, right? Russell Westbrook.
No, it's very.
And
very
he's
bad.
probably lost a step, driving to the basket. So I'd say it's going to take more than Russell Westbrook. It can't be just a swap. It's got to be more to it than that.
No, it does not. It physically can't be, though. It can't be. It can't be.
Why?
Cap rules. It's
Really?
salary rules.
Yeah.
You can't have a straight up swap because Westbrook's worth like 47 point something $million. The luxury tax just wouldn't work for a swap.
So how would it work then?
You need to obviously add more players. So, for instance, you would need to trade basically. The package would be. It very well may be, it would be Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris, who in big situations cannot really shoot very well, and I think he had a pretty bad injury last year. So it would be Russell Westbrook and maybe Taylor Horton-Tucker and maybe another player, along with the soonest first-round pick they have to trade is 2027. So they need to trade that pick, plus a whole plethora of people, Russell Westbrook included, THT, and maybe some other players, in order to get Westbrook and Joe Harris, which is the reported trade. So, do I think it could happen? You know what? I'm gonna go on a limb and say this is definitely going to happen. When it will happen, though, that's the huge question mark, because I think the market needs to calm down right now. You had some pretty, jaw-dropping trades. Rudy Gobert, to be specific with it. And I think simply, it needs to be, these teams now with trades and signings need to be put in more perspective of, reality, not some bogus, low-tier franchise trying to make moves to try to boost up their own team, trading away basically everything they have to get, a player or two. So I think this trade definitely will happen. I think it essentially is a swap, obviously under the rules that are in place. It'll essentially be a swap, Kyrie for Russell Westbrook. I think this will happen. I don't think Kyrie will play another game for the Nets, even though he signed his player option. I do not think, when we hit the 2022-2023 season, that he will be in a Nets jersey at opening day at tip-off. I just don't see it happening whatsoever.
No, I agree with you. I think they'll find a way to get that trade done, and I think that's probably the only place Kyrie Irving can go where he might be influenced heavily by the team and the culture with LeBron on the team, right? I think LeBron can keep Kyrie Irving in line.
Yeah.
And I think Kyrie Irving will behave better in that culture with LeBron there than he would anywhere else.
I agree.
Anywhere else, he's going to be doing crazy stuff again. So I think you're right. I think that trade will go down.
I think it has.
And I think that the Lakers will at least make the playoffs with that team then.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't know about Anthony Davis. Is he going to be healthy enough to play?
The trade basically is swapping one problem for another. But the question is, though, when Russell Westbrook almost missed no games throughout the entire season, and that was actually the bad part about Russell Westbrook, was the fact that he didn't miss a lot of games.
Oh yeah, why?
Because he just
lousy?
played. He played horribly. Turned the ball over several times.
Maybe he was
Can't
in the wrong system. Maybe that's not the right system for him.
But this will be his 5th team in 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's not the team that's the bad part. I think it's actually Russell Westbrook.
Didn't he play well on the other teams?
Yeah, but
pretty well.
They didn't
played
do
pretty
anything.
well in Houston.
They didn't do anything though. They didn't win any game. Like they didn't make it. I think he made it past one round in the playoffs once with Chris Paul. Maybe not even with Chris Paul. But Russell Westbrook. The problem with Russell Westbrook is that he relied throughout his entire career on his athleticism, his explosive drives to the basket, his explosive defense, his explosive rebounding, those monster dunks that he always had. And on the Lakers, there wasn't much of that. And so
it might have been the system then.
And so he wasn't efficient as he used to be, right? Yeah. He's a very individual player.
Yeah, well, he'll have that opportunity with the Nets because there won't be anybody else there but him.
That's true. But the thing with Kyrie Irving is Kyrie Irving had 226 games that he could have played in with the Nets. He played in 103 of those games.
Ridiculous.
He missed 120.
He owes them money. I think he should pay him back money.
But that's the problem you have because if AD's not going to be healthy, you may have also Kyrie missing a lot of games. So. If you have, then it would just be LeBron.
Most of the games Kyrie Irving missed, he didn't need to miss. It was because his head was screwed on, wacky. With LeBron there, he won't miss those games. I don't think.
I think Kyrie regrets leaving LeBron back in 2019. I think he tried to after he won his ring, he felt it's my time to show what I can do on my own, and it's the same thing with Kevin Durant. He goes to a different team, and except this time it was toxic locker room. You have people. Saying that Kyrie Irving was not a great locker room presence.
No, I'm not surprised to hear that.
I mean, he told the Celtics that he would never leave them, right? If the Celtics wanted him back, he'd be very, very happy to stay. He ended up leaving them the first chance he got.
Yeah.
The Nets, he said almost the exact same thing. I never want to leave.
Yeah.
I never want to leave the
believe
Nets.
him. He has no credibility.
Yeah, and you know what? He'll probably get traded, and he seems like he wants to trade. The craziest thing that came out, as soon as Kevin Durant said he wanted to trade, was that people were speculating that the Lakers are trying to get both of them in a package deal. I think if that ever is true, and the bombshell drops that Kevin Durant and Kyrie,
I don't
know how it could possibly happen, but the Lakers would win several finals in a row.
Maybe, but I don't know.
Several.
LeBron's not getting any younger.
But you have Kevin Durant and Kyrie.
How old is LeBron? 39?
37.
37?
He's 37. He's playing in his 20th year, so he'd be turning 38 in his 20th season.
Yeah.
And he's going to play with Bronny, and then he's going to retire. So he may only last 1 year with his son, but that's his number one goal.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a ways off now.
It's about what we're talking, maybe
3 more years,
3-ish years left.
And maybe his son, I don't know. Will he be good enough to get to the NBA in his first year?
That's the question. Or is whatever team, it could be that a team might draft him knowing LeBron would come over. Or if whatever team LeBron's on, do they have enough confidence in LeBron's judgment that his son's good enough to be on the team and worth drafting at whatever high pick that they might draft? Because it's going to be, is it worth it? You might be here for a year after we draft it. You might be here the year that we draft him, play that season, however many games, and then you'll be gone. So we have to trust that LeBron has enough confidence in his son and has the reason, he has a proper reasoning to say, you know what, my son is good enough to last you however many years you want him to be on your team. So I think with regards to Kyrie Irving, the trade will happen.
Okay.
That's what it comes down to. I just think that there's no other way, because there's no other team that's really going to push for Kyrie Irving because of his reputation.
Yeah,
he may play 20 games for you like you did this year.
I think that's a negative for the Nets, right? But I mean, maybe you don't have to give up that much to get Kyrie Irving because they know they don't want him.
Compared to KD, yeah, because he's on an expiring contract. He has a bad reputation for locker room presence and just for overall being available for games.
Yeah.
So because of that, yeah, he's gonna be worth.
Yeah, what do you want to pay $35 million for a guy who only shows up half the time? Not even
a third of the time.
We can't say enough bad things about him.
I mean, it's somewhat deserved because you know what? His talent when he plays is very, very good. He has some of the best handles.
Sometimes he bricks a lot of threes. You know, he's not a Steph Curry, that's for sure.
He averaged 42% from three this past year. He averages almost 40% for his entire career.
Yeah, but how about in the playoffs, though?
The playoffs
this year.
Well, he didn't play much this year.
No, but he played the playoffs.
He played 4 games.
Four games,
swept.
and those 4 games, how did he do? He didn't do so great.
Almost 40% from three, 44.4% from the field.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty damn good. 38.1% from three.
Well, they didn't win.
Averaged 21 points a game.
How about some of the other trades? Some of the other trades. How about the Celtics? They got 2 good players, pretty good players, right? They got a Pacers. They got a true point guard, which is something they've lacked. And they got a shooter, right? A small forward shooter in Gallinari.
Yeah.
Right.
So, well, he's not forward. He's a center more so. But yeah, the
he's a center. Gallinari.
Gallinari's like 6'9" or something like that.
He's not. He doesn't never played center though.
He's not a small forward. Gallinari's 6'10". Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What position does he play? Power forward.
Oh my God! What they have him here as 3 different positions: small forward, power forward, and shooting guard.
Yeah. Okay.
When he got into the league, when he went to the Knicks for his first year in the league, he was considered a shooting guard. At 6, that's great, 6'10". But yes,
that's great. If you've got somebody that's a really good shooting guard at 6'10", right? That's an advantage.
Ben Simmons is a 6'10" point guard, but he's just bad. The only thing he can do is play defense.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Celtics did acquire 2 people from free agency. Gallinari was a wave. It was basically the Hawks and Spurs had a trade to send DeJounte Murray over to the Hawks for Danilo Gallinari, which then got released by the Spurs to clear up their salary cap room, which then the Celtics subsequently signed for basically nothing.
Smart move.
That is a smart move. Plus, the Celtics gave up, minimal things to get a very, very good point guard in Malcolm Brogdon. So I think, you know what? They're doing pretty well for themselves.
I think they should stick with that team. I think they should stay away from trying to get Kevin Durant.
They would need to give up too much.
Yeah, and they have a good young nucleus. And they can play better. They can play better. They turn the ball over too much. That was their one problem. Getting a point guard will help. And Marcus Smart, he could learn maybe something from Brogdon in terms of how to play point guard a little bit better. He doesn't turn the ball over so much. They really need a floor general there. I think that will be interesting to see how that works out. Yeah.
The trade,
they need to get the ball to Tatum and a catch and shoot rather than him putting the ball on the floor. Because when he puts the ball on the floor, at least against the Warriors defense, he turned it over way too many times. He turned the ball over how many times during the playoffs? Like
100.
100 times.
First time anyone in NBA history turned the ball over with triple digits.
Well, then that's a mistake in the way they run the offense. They should get him into a catch and shoot situation. Yeah, that's what I think. So I think the Celtics, I would stick with that team. I think they will. They gave up very little to get Brogdon.
Yeah, so the reported trade, which cannot become official until July 9th, included the Celtics sending a 2023 first-round pick, Aaron Nesmith, Daniel Theis, Malik Fitz, Juwan Morgan, and Nick Stauskas to the Pacers in exchange just for Malcolm Brogdon. That is a steal. An absolute steal for a guy that averages, I believe, 26 and 6? I'll look it up right now for specifics. Malcolm Brogdon last year averaged 19 points, 5.9 assists, and 5.1 rebounds. So
not bad.
He's a 19, 5, and 6 guy.
Yeah.
So you have I would consider him a true point. Yeah, I think he could be a facilitator.
Yeah.
I think he would be better at the point than. I mean, he plays both point and shooting guard, but he only played shooting guard 2 years.
I think it will change the Celtics starting 5, right? Because they'll probably start Smart and him. And Tatum and Brown, and then either Horford or Williams are going to be the 6th person.
I would put Al Horford as my 6th person. I would start Robert Williams.
So would I.
Robert Williams is the 2nd best shot blocker per game in the league.
Yeah,
and I think that is.
Let's hope his knee is not an issue. He has
Yeah.
something wrong there. I don't know. I hope
He was not healthy basically the entirety of the playoffs, essentially. Going into the playoffs, he got
played
hurt.
most of them though. He played along most of the games.
Oh, no, yeah, and he played very well in most of the games.
So if he can get healed up there, he could be even better.
Phenomenal around the rim.
Yeah.
So I think, you know what?
Then on the bench, they've got Derek White. Right?
Yeah.
They'll have him on the bench.
You
They'll
have Brett
have
Williams,
Horford
Derek
on the bench.
White, Horford, and Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah.
So you have a pretty good core.
Yeah, I think so.
I think. Well,
Enough to get him to the Eastern
Conference
Division
Finals?
Conference Finals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether if Kevin Durant's on Miami though,
Yeah.
I don't think they'll make it.
No, I think this really depends on where Kevin Durant goes. If he goes to, let's just say he goes out to the West. Let's say he goes to Phoenix just for all
That'd be
intents and
great.
purposes. I think the Celtics have a serious shot at being the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Because their efficiency on offense would be greatly improved with Malcolm Brogdon. That's the projection, of course, because you have a true point, and have a defensive player of the year, facilitating your offense. You have the same very, very young core you had in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and even Marcus Smart if you want to include him in the core. And you have Robert Williams, the second best shot blocker in the league.
Yeah.
So I think, the Celtics are poised to be the number 1 seed. And once again, it all depends on where Kevin Durant goes. But if we're talking about, let's say Kevin Durant goes with what the odds are saying, 62% chance to join the Suns, I think the Celtics have a serious shot at being the number 1 seed.
Yeah. How about the Bucks? Did they do anything in the offseason so far?
Not at the moment, no. Nothing.
They
Nothing
need
game
somebody.
breaking.
They need somebody.
They need another number 2 in case Chris Middleton gets hurt again.
Yeah.
And you know what? Just for this, I'll
Maybe
look
that's
up.
what they figure. He's going to come back. Yeah. But I still think they need somebody.
No, I agree.
It's like Giannis out there pretty much by himself, it seemed like to me.
Trying to see what it looks like for the Bucks in regards to free agent. Yeah, nothing's really happening.
Yeah.
Really. Serge Ibaka returning to Milwaukee. Apparently, was this a rumor? No, this is a 1-year deal. Serge Ibaka,
really? They got him?
Serge Ibaka is going to Milwaukee.
That's a pretty good pickup.
That happened 6 hours
He's
ago
going to
today.
Milwaukee?
Yeah, 6 hours ago today. Free agent center Serge Ibaka has agreed to a 1-year deal to return to the Milwaukee Bucks, according to The Athletic. So, there you go.
Okay, how about tell me about that Rudy Gobert trade? That was amazing, right?
Yeah, that's why it's a serious problem.
Basically, the whole team went to the Jazz for him.
So, the Timberwolves get Rudy Gobert. The Jazz get Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, Leandro Bolmaro, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, a 2023 first-round pick, 2025 first-round pick, a 2026 pick swap, a 2027 and 2029 first-round pick. 2029 is a protected first-round pick.
Unbelievable.
That is absurd for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
But now you have a dominant 2 big man group in Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Both are very, very good on defense, and Karl Anthony
Now,
Towns.
how long is Gobert locked up for then?
So let's look at his contract, because now I'm curious about it. Rudy Gobert, if I go down to where's contracts? Salaries. I guess that would be helpful. Signed a 5-year extension in 2020.
Okay, well,
So
this
he's
is
got
23. So
he's got 4 more years left.
in 2020, he signed 5 years. This will be the 20.
Well, this
20.
this past year he was
Okay.
$35 million. So 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024, 24 to 25, 25 to 26.
Okay, 4 years.
And the 25 to 26 is a player option.
Oh, well, he might not be there then.
So at least 3
Yeah,
years.
well, I guess the Timberwolves are figuring they'll be good enough so the picks wouldn't be worth anything.
I think the Timberwolves could be playoff. I think they're a playoff team.
Yeah.
Because
Who's their point guard?
well, it was Patrick Beverley.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not too sure about that. Let's see. I'll look at the Timberwolves roster right now.
What happened to Ricky Rubio? Does he play?
He's
for
on
them?
the Cavs right now.
He's on the Cavs.
What was he? I think traded or signed back with the Cavs, because he actually left the Cavs. I think midway or early in the season last year to join another team.
Yeah.
And then now he's going to go back to them.
How about Patty Mills? Did he sign anywhere yet?
Patty Mills, I think, is he a free agent?
I thought he was.
Let's see. I don't see anything about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe he's-
here we go. Patty Mills declines player option, becomes a free agent. This
Yeah.
was about 5 days ago, 6 days ago.
It's a pretty good point guard.
So right now, nothing's happened in regards to Patty Mills. The Timberwolves last year, their point guards were McKinley Wright IV, Pat Beverly, Jordan McLaughlin. Oh, D'Angelo Russell. He would be the point guard.
Okay.
And then being the number 2, you have Anthony Edwards. So yeah, they traded sort of backup players to get Rudy Gobert, because Malik Beasley back up to Anthony Edwards, Patrick Beverly back up to D'Angelo Russell, and then the other guys,
Nobody.
I've never really even heard of them.
So maybe although it's a ton of people, there isn't that much talent besides Beverly, right?
It's just the volume of how
How
much.
much? But the picks, there's a ton of picks there.
4 or 5 first-round picks
Yeah.
for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. Well.
But now you have Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert pairing up.
Yeah.
You probably drop, because Vanderbilt was a power forward. You're probably going to drop Gobert down to the power forward position, have them two play down low, starting. And then, at the small forward position, we'll go to, if they drafted a rookie, go to him or someone else that they have here, and then have Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell as your 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That would be I think that's a pretty deadly combination, actually.
Yeah.
If I really think about it. I think they could sneak their way into the playoffs. I mean, they snuck their way into the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And they put up a serious fight against, who did they play? Why am I forgetting who they played? I can just look at it right now. That's right, the Grizzlies. They brought the Grizzlies to 6 games. The Grizzlies were the 2 seed.
Yeah.
So,
maybe they think this gets them over the top. They get to the next round.
I don't know if, do I think they're a play-in team? Yeah, because I think they're at least the 6th team. So this is the 6th seed. I think they'll be a 7th seed. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
Have them be the 7th seed. But we're actually going to take a break right now. We'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Introducing video podcasts on Spotify.
Transform your storytelling into a show everyone can watch
Or listen to.
Easily upload your video through Anchor, Spotify's free podcast creation tool.
So whether you're showing off a new recipe
Interviewing an exclusive guest,
or uncovering the next mystery,
you can now reach a whole new audience with Spotify.
podcasting just became more than audio.
Create with Anchor, watch on Spotify.
You have a lot to say. Maybe you've thought, I should start a podcast. Meet Anchor, the easiest way to make a podcast ever. It's a powerful mobile app and web tool that lets you record a podcast anywhere and distribute it everywhere. It's great whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out. And it's 100% free. You can record your show straight into Anchor on your phone, iPad, or the web, using any mic you want. Record alone or with friends or co-hosts anywhere in the world. You can add background music and transitions, and your listeners can send you voice messages that you can incorporate right into your next episode. If you want to produce your show using another app, you can upload your own audio directly from web or mobile, and still take advantage of Anchor's totally free podcast hosting. Once your podcast is ready to publish, Anchor can automatically distribute it to every major podcast platform. That includes Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, so your listeners can hear your show wherever they want. And on the web, you can see detailed analytics about how people are listening. Plus, you'll get a great-looking profile page where anyone can listen to your podcast or subscribe to it. And if you want to ask your audience to support your work, Anchor makes it easy to collect monthly payments from the people who love your podcast and want to see it grow. You really don't need a recording studio, expensive equipment, or a bunch of technical knowledge to deal with a podcast feed. Just get started and join the diverse community of podcasters already on Anchor. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
Welcome back to the Harvey Hour. My name's Nathan Harvey. That's my dad, Stephen Harvey. And we're going to talk once again about Baker Mayfield, because interesting what Robert Griffin III said and what a potential new mystery suitor for Baker Mayfield has arose. Let's start with what RG3 said. RG3 recently went on the Rich Eisen show and voiced the situation between Deshaun Watson potentially getting suspended for an extended period of time and what the Browns should do with Baker Mayfield. He said, quote, I think the Browns should offer the olive branch to Baker and ask him to stay if Deshaun Watson gets suspended for a significant amount of time. Baker's proven in the city he can go win a playoff game, get you to the playoffs, and do all those things. Last year he played hurt and wasn't very effective. The bottom line is Baker Mayfield is better than Jacoby Brissett, who they just signed. That's just the bottom line. And if you're going to have to play a full season with the guy, your best option is go back to Baker Mayfield and beg him to stay. I think the Browns should approach Baker and say, we need you. We're sorry how this all worked out, but we want to give you an opportunity to go out there and prove yourself. And I think Baker should take that. And then the funny part about this is there was allegedly, a deal in place for Baker Mayfield to go to the Seattle Seahawks. And then a mystery suitor knocked on Cleveland's door and said, hold up. We want to join the race here. The mystery team has not been identified, obviously. They're a mystery team. But I have a very, very funny feeling that I think maybe the team that I chose, the best option for Baker Mayfield, was the New Orleans Saints. I think they might have knocked on the door and said, hey, we got Jameis Winston, who played pretty well for, 7 games, but he has a history of, very, very poor decisions in turning the ball over, and he now might be injury prone. So I want to know what you think of RG3's comments about, Baker staying potentially with the Browns and having the Browns, offer the olive branch, as they say.
Yeah.
And what do you think of a mystery suitor? Who do you think this mystery suitor is?
I think RG3 is dreaming. I don't think that the Baker Mayfield's not going to do that. I mean, they abused him. They disrespected him, right? I mean, he gave them all he had. He played when he was hurt. He did win a playoff game for them, right? Right. They are the team they put together around him is there was some talent there, but the culture wasn't very good. I don't think they didn't seem to do that much with that talent. So I think that Baker Mayfield, if I were him, I'd say I'm out of here. I don't want to be here. You don't want me here. You said you didn't want me here. You went up and signed Deshaun Watson, who's got all kinds of personal issues and character issues. You want him instead of me? Fine, that's fine. I'm going elsewhere. I think RG3 is dreaming, but I do think you're right about the Saints, because that would be the quarterback that could be there for 7 games until Deshaun Watson gets there, having Jameis Winston play. I think that he'd probably win him some games, but he'd probably make some mistakes too. But I think Baker Mayfield's better than Jameis Winston, and I think the Saints maybe are the mystery team.
Well, a lot of since this mystery team has actually come out in the news.
When is the mystery going to be solved?
If a trade gets made, that's not the Seahawks
it'll be leaked by now. I mean, they can't keep anything a secret in the NFL.
Maybe, but some potential suitors that people are speculating are the Titans, the Giants, the Texans, the Bucs have even been mentioned in this, because Tom Brady may very well be done at the end of this year. So people were thinking that potentially it would be the Bucs, but I think it is the Saints, because I think Baker Mayfield's going to want to start. So I don't think he'll go. I don't think he wants to go. I don't think he wants to go to Tampa, because he ain't going to start there. Right? I think if Baker Mayfield is choosing specifically for his future, I think the Bucs, future-wise, to learn from the greatest quarterback of all time, I think that would be huge, very, very beneficial to the team. And plus, who's going to beat him for the job after Brady retires? But the question is, though, is Brady so psychotic he'll come back again next year too?
Could be. You never know with him.
But I just think, you know what? Yes, Baker Mayfield won't start, and I think he is a starter. I think he's better than the bottom tier of quarterbacks. Yeah. I think he's better than Daniel Jones. He's better than I honestly think this might be a little bad, but I think he might be a little bit better than Kirk Cousins. I don't like Kirk Cousins. I don't think Kirk Cousins is worth 36
I don't know about Kirk Cousins.
Fully guaranteed.
I mean, Kirk Cousins, when he's on, is a great passer.
Yeah, but that's when he's on, though.
Yeah.
I think he's better than Zach Wilson. I think he's better.
Has Kirk Cousins ever won a playoff game?
I don't think Kirk Cousins ever. Actually, yes.
Has he won one?
Yes. The Minneapolis Miracle, I think, against the Saints. It was the Stephon Diggs.
No, that was not Kirk Cousins. That
was it Case Keenum?
Case Keenum.
Yeah. Oh my. Let me look this up real quick. Has he ever won a playoff?
Case Keenum? I know it was.
He's won one playoff game.
Oh yeah.
In 2019. No, I was right. It was against the Saints. I was right.
So Cousins has never won a playoff game.
No,
it was Case Keenum. That won it.
No, Cousins won that game.
No, he didn't. It was Case
I'm
Keenum.
looking at 2019.
Through the pass to Stephon Diggs was Case Keenum.
2019, Minneapolis. He started 2 games, went 1-1 in 2019, and the win was against the Saints. I'm staring at it right here.
Well, then that was a different year then.
What?
It's a different year for the Case Keenum one.
This was in overtime in 2019. Let's do Case Keenum.
Yeah.
Case Keenum never played for. Oh no, 2017.
Is that the year that Diggs got the?
Yeah.
Was 17.
2017.
Okay.
Where they won. So
they beat him again in 19 with Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
Yeah. So
so Kirk Cousins won one playoff game. Yeah. And he makes a fortune, right? He's making a fortune.
I think he's making what, 35 million fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
He's been on like a bunch of 1-year deals that have been fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
But
pretty good quarterback, but he's not. He's yet to be proven that he's a winner, a real winner, because he only won one playoff game.
But yeah, I would take Baker Mayfield over Daniel Jones. I would take him over what's his name? Washington Commanders quarterback played for.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? I don't know why I'm forgetting him.
Yeah.
Whoever. Washington quarterback. Can't think of him right now.
He used to play for Philadelphia. Too.
Yeah. I'm completely blanking on his name.
Yeah.
I think he's better than Carolina, who they have now, who I can't even think of. I think
Donode.
Yeah, I think he's better than Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
He's better than Drew Lock.
Yep.
He's not better than anyone in the AFC West. He's better than Trevor Lawrence. He's better than Davis Mills. I would not put him over. Him and Ryan Tannehill, I would think, are pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah.
I would not put him over Matt Ryan. I would not put him over Lamar, Deshaun Watson.
Right.
Mitch Trubisky, I would put him over.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put him over Joe Burrow.
So he's better than a lot of quarterbacks.
He's better than he's better than a third of NFL quarterbacks.
I think he's as good. He's better than Jameis Winston.
I agreed. Yeah, I'll put him over Jameis Winston as well. So he's better than basically a third.
So I think you're right. I think it's the Saints, and I do think that Jameis Winston going to the Browns will be the placeholder until Deshaun Watson gets there. Yeah, that's possible. I think that's that maybe even probable.
In regards
but
to
you know
what,
what? Maybe it might be the Giants because they don't like Daniel Jones, and deservedly so.
Well, Daniel Jones is done. I don't care. He might. Daniel Jones may win the Super Bowl. I don't think they'll keep him because I just think Daniel Jones. They
won the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure they keep him.
Still, though, I just don't think Daniel Jones. Right? He should have lost his job last year. I know he got hurt like 9 games in.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is done. He maybe had one good year. He showed slight signs of improvement.
Well, right now, he's the starting quarterback for next year.
And I don't know how he's the starting quarterback. If it was up to me, I'm not an NFL GM, but if it was up to me, I would have got rid of Daniel Jones last year because I just don't think he could win me any football games. He's played in this league for 3 years. He has 45 touchdowns to 29 interceptions. He's played... he has a record of 12-25, which isn't a QB stat, a full QB stat. I'll give you that much. He's played in 38 games. He's average to below average. He's not a good quarterback.
I don't think you know what. I think he may have the talent, but he's not a very good decision maker.
He's not a very good decision maker. People call him Danny Dimes because of his rookie year. I call him Danny Drops because of his turnovers, his fumbles. Yeah.
Made a lot of mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes. He doesn't seem to have learned from them that well either.
Yeah.
So, it could be the Giants. Maybe they want to make a bigger splash, because their team looks pretty boring coming out of the gate so far. It doesn't look like any team that's going to win much of anything. So
also
maybe they're the
potential
ones.
teams.
But I think it makes sense for the Saints. Make a lot of sense for the Saints to get him and give him a try.
Well, other potential teams that people are waiting for.
Sure.
No, absolutely no. I get that.
Yeah.
Other potential teams that some websites are, some sources are looking at are the Cowboys, Rams, Bears, Chiefs, Vikings, Bengals,
Cowboys?
Patriots. Yeah.
The Patriots are interested in Baker Mayfield?
This is their reasoning. They haven't been anywhere close to sniffing around Mayfield from what we could tell. But Brian Hoyer's 36 and Bailey Zappi, rookie 4th-round pick, is likely a year away from contributing in this offense. Even with Mac Jones entrenched as a starter, it can't hurt to inquire about Baker Mayfield as the upside is enticing.
I don't think the Patriots are going to get him.
With the Cowboys, it's not only do the Cowboys have cap space.
Who cares if that Hoyer is 36 years old. He ain't going to play anyway.
Good point. Yeah.
He's going to play. And you know what? If Mac Jones gets hurt and can't play, then Hoyer will be in there. If he can't play, then try out that other guy.
Bailey Zappi.
Yeah, he threw for what?
6,000 yards in the college.
So, yeah, in 1 year.
In 1 year.
In 1 year, 6,000 yards.
Yeah.
So he might be a good passer.
He could be.
How many touchdowns was that?
I'll look that up right now, actually. With regards to RG3, I think, you know what?
I think RG3, what's he talking about? I mean, I don't think that Baker Mayfield is thinking that way at all.
Bailey Zappi.
Maybe the Browns paid him to say that. He used to be their quarterback. He used to be on their team, right?
Yeah, and then he got hurt. That's such a sad story. He had a leg injury early in his career.
Yeah.
62 touchdowns for Bailey Zappi.
62 in 1 year.
Yeah. Essentially 6,000 yards, 5,967 yards.
How big is what's his size?
6'1", 220.
6'1", he's a little short.
Yeah. But yeah, with regards to RG3, I think, you know what? If I'm Baker Mayfield and the Browns are like, please, we need you. Deshaun Watson got suspended for 8 games. I would say no.
I wouldn't do it.
You guys screwed me. You guys didn't even tell me you were going for Deshaun Watson until the Texans media leaked it out and I saw it. You didn't even tell me you were going to get it.
Yeah.
So if I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm like, no, screw you guys. Put me on the team.
Plus, a lot of other teams are interested in him.
It says I could sit out for 1 year and make $19 million. I don't need to do anything and I'll make $19 million. You guys have to decide where the hell I'm going to go.
Yeah.
You're either going to pay me $19 million or you're going to find a team to pay me whatever I'm owed, whatever they're willing to pay me, and you'll pay the rest. And I think, you know what? Yes.
What does Jameis Winston, what's his contract?
It was 2 years. Why do I want to say like $9 million? No, that's the Malcolm Butler trade. Or contract, sorry.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston contract. 2 years, $28 million. Woo!
Okay.
$14 million a year?
So that works. That works. They could ship Baker Mayfield to the Saints and eat $5 million of the contract, right? And that's $14 million, and bring Jameis Winston, and it still only cost them. It'll be $19 million. They could just eat $5 million. That's probably that's probably the smallest amount they're going to eat. Other teams are going to want more than that.
Yeah. But if it were me, I would say I wouldn't even go for. I would say Jameis Winston could be my backup because the Saints don't really have a backup. They got Ian Book as their backup.
No, but the Browns are going to need somebody.
I would go. I think Baker Mayfield. They might just ask for a 4th round, maybe a 5th round pick, and just be done with it. I think if they seriously want to get him off.
You think they have Jacoby Brissett as their backup?
Jacoby Brissett was signed.
Is the Browns is the backup for whoever for Deshaun Watson or Baker Mayfield?
Well, it would be Deshaun Watson, yeah, and they signed him specifically for short term, for
I think
4
if
games
Deshaun
at
Watson's
most.
There, then Brissett's okay backup, but if he winds up being the starter, then 9 games. If Deshaun Watson's suspended for 9 games, then the Browns are out of it by the time they get to week 10.
Well, the report is if Deshaun Watson's out for 8+ games, they're gonna probably go for actually Jimmy G to be the official backup for that because they signed Jacoby Brissett specifically for a month at most, 4 games, not an extended period of time.
Oh, really? They only signed him for 4 games.
Well, the reason they signed him was for the short term.
Okay, well,
in case Deshaun got suspended.
Jacoby Brissett, I wouldn't be too happy with that contract.
Well, no, his contract isn't 4 games. They signed him as the backup in case Deshaun got suspended for a short period of time.
Play for 4 games.
They did not sign him to say, "Oh yeah, Deshaun Watson gets suspended for 8+ games."
I don't think he's a very good signing. He's proven that he's not a very good quarterback.
Well, it's that or Joshua Dobbs.
No, but there's probably somebody else out there they could get.
Jimmy G.
No, they ain't gonna get Jimmy G.
That's the rumor going around. If Deshaun Watson gets suspended for an extended period of time,
they're gonna try to get Jimmy G.
They will try to get Jimmy G because Jimmy G is a better long-term.
Well, if I were Jimmy G,
starter.
I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that.
I mean, do you really have a choice?
I don't know if he has much of a choice, but who's San Francisco going to have then? They'll go
Trey
with
Lance.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
He's not ready.
I mean,
He didn't play well last year.
I mean, reportedly he was already given the starting job. They told him there was a rumor coming out early in the offseason that says Trey Lance is basically geared up and ready to go by the front office and the coach and the GM to say you will be our starter going into the season.
Wow. I think that's a risky move.
It very well could be. Trey Lance was one of the underdeveloped rookies coming out of this past draft, or I guess last year, not this year's draft, last year's draft. He was more of a raw talent, not a developed talent. Like Mac. If you compare Mac Jones to Trey Lance, they were polar opposites. Mac Jones was the developed rookie coming out of Alabama, Nick Saban. Trey Lance hadn't played football in like a year. So it's raw talent versus developed talent so far. So it would be risky, I guess you could say.
I think it's risky. I would rather have, if they were going to let Trey Lance start, then I'd rather have Jimmy G as my backup than who knows who it might be, right? Because Trey Lance could be a bust.
Could be. And I think, you know what? In the NFL, you generally are, the stakes are pitted against you.
Jimmy G took him to the
Super Bowl
conference final.
And the Super Bowl.
And
as
the
well.
Super Bowl. Right?
He beat Aaron Rodgers.
He's no slouch.
In Lambeau.
He's not a slouch.
No, he's not. He can win games. I just don't think he's a top-tier quarterback. That's me. That's me.
He's not in the top 7 or 8, but he's up there.
He's not top 10.
He's in the top 15. He's in the top 15.
So he's the top half of the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that, but he ain't top. I'm not putting him in my top 10.
Who's ahead of him?
Who's ahead of him? Okay, you know what? I can bring it up right now. Here, let me see. When can I? Let me do this. Let's see. Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Brady.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert. Russell Wilson. Joe Burrow. Matt Ryan.
I don't know. Maybe Matt Ryan is not ahead of Jimmy G.
I'm dancing around with saying Lamar Jackson. I don't know why I didn't say him earlier. Lamar Jackson.
I think I'd drop Pat Ryan and put Lamar Jackson in. I'm not sure Matt Ryan is still going to be an elite quarterback.
Well, that was unfair. No, Lamar Jackson in my top 10.
Yeah.
I was just listing off quarterbacks who I think are better than him. I'm not saying Josh Allen is number one quarterback.
Matt Ryan is better than Jimmy G.
I think he is, absolutely.
I don't think so.
Absolutely.
Mm-mm.
But
who else did you throw in there? I'm not sure.
We'll go down the list. Josh Allen.
Yeah,
again.
I agree with that.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, probably.
I'm Lamar Jackson. I'm dancing around with Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. He hasn't played for a year and a half.
Last time he played, I think he put up like 5,200 yards on a 4-12 Texans team. So maybe
Okay.
does it half. I said Matt Ryan. I'm sticking.
I
with
would say go with the players who played last year. Deshaun Watson didn't play.
Okay, so then Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. He played like half the year though, so I'm including him regardless. Matt Ryan.
I think Matt Ryan. No,
I'm going off me. Pat Mahomes, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert.
Derek Carr, I'm not so sure.
Ooh. What'd I say? Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott.
No, I don't know. Dak Prescott. Hey, Jimmy G beat him. Jimmy G beat him in the playoffs.
That was a horrible coaching call by Mike McCarthy. To call a QB sneak.
The fact that they got into that
14.
situation, the fact that they were in that situation, Dak Prescott. He's put up some good numbers, but he has not gotten the team to where they should have gotten with the talent that they had. They probably have more talent than the San Francisco did.
No. Defense maybe, not on offense.
They had Deebo Samuels.
That's what. No, that's what I'm saying.
They had. Who else did they have on the wide receiver? Who else?
You said the Cowboys had more talent than the 49ers did.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm saying no, the 49ers had more talent than.
I don't think so.
I think so, definitely. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. You had Brandon Ayuk. You had Eli Mitchell. Ezekiel Elliott is not a top running back.
Well, Pollard is a good running back.
But he's a backup. He isn't
No, but
even
look at the
a
wide
starter.
receivers. They had D.D. What's his name?
C.D. Lamb.
C.D. Lamb, and
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper, and who else?
Michael Gallup.
Michael Gallup, right?
Yeah.
Who was the tight end?
Dalton Schultz.
Oh, I don't know of him. They had a great offensive line.
They do. They
Right.
do.
But they had Dak Prescott.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, the 49ers have the number one offensive lineman. He was actually graded the highest in the entire NFL last year. Trent
One
Williams.
guy.
Trent Williams.
Yeah.
He was the highest
One
rated
guy,
player.
though, but the whole line, I think Dallas has a very good offensive line.
They do, but their offensive line's getting old.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
this
the
is
only
last
problem.
year we're talking.
But
then one
okay,
game. I think Dallas probably they were playing at home too. Dallas was at home.
Okay, so if you're telling me that Dak Prescott is now worse than Jimmy G because they lost to him, then you would put Aaron Rodgers below Jimmy G.
No.
Because under that logic, because Jimmy G beat Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau Field last year. It's the same thing with Dak Prescott.
Well,
So
see, I think Jimmy G's a higher rated. He's up there. I wouldn't say he's elite, but I would say he's up there.
No, he's above average.
He's above average.
I'm not putting him in my top 10, though.
And I would say Matt Ryan is above average. I don't think he's a great quarterback now. He's past his prime.
Well, he's past his prime. Doesn't mean he's bad, though.
No, but above average.
Above average, but he's above Jimmy G for me.
Okay, for you maybe, not me.
Because you like Jimmy G. He's a former Patriot.
I do.
Actually,
like Jimmy G. You hate Jimmy G.
I do not hate Jimmy G. I just have a strong opinion. Hey, I bet on Jimmy G against the Packers. That won me $50 straight up. I said, you told me, go for the spread. Go for the spread. I know. I bet straight up Jimmy G would beat Aaron Rodgers, and I was right about that. But you bring this up, and we're going over the time show, but I don't even care. This is I'm enjoying this so far. This brings me up to a point, and I don't have the article up right now, so I'm going off based off memory, so I could be somewhat wrong in this, but the general gist of it is spot on. Who was Martellus Bennett, I think. He played for the Patriots, right? Tight end? Yeah. I think it was him. He talked about how Jimmy G, was he on the team where Brady got suspended the first 4 games? Yes.
If he hadn't gotten hurt. He hadn't gotten hurt, but maybe Belichick would have thought twice about putting Brady back in there.
That is, ooh.
He might have thought twice about that.
Oh God, no! That's a horrible.
Bill
horrible
Belichick
take.
loved Jimmy G.
Horrible.
He wanted.
True.
You read the book. I read the Belichick book.
I agree.
Read the Belichick book and what he thought about Jimmy G.
No, I've heard that too. No, Jimmy G. Yeah, no, Bill Belichick. Jimmy G was Belichick's guy. He was in position, but Martellus Bennett had a very harsh criticism about Jimmy G and his grind, his commitment to playing. His injury supposedly was not as gruesome as it turned out to be. Martellus Bennett and the entire locker room, when Jimmy G said, I think the Saturday before the game, that he couldn't go, people were very upset, including Julian Edelman. Because they all thought, we're out here busting our ass we're grinding every single day, getting beaten up over the field. You're there in the pocket, protected by a pretty damn good O-line. We're out here going into contact. Contact's coming towards you, you could run away. We are going on a route where a blindside guy could nail us over the middle of the field. The locker room was not very happy about Jimmy G. If he said it Thursday, they'll have a little bit more respect. But he said the Saturday that he could not go, and they put Jacoby Brissett in there. Jacoby Brissett at the time, I think he was also hurt. He did not have... It was something wrong with his throwing hand.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy G, on the other hand, I believe it was a left shoulder that he hurt, maybe? Yeah, it was a left shoulder that he hurt. Mm-hmm. And the locker room was like, you throw with your right arm and a right shoulder. Your left shoulder's not as important. So when that came out, that Jimmy G could not go basically a day before the game, the entire locker room was not very happy with Jimmy G and his decision there. And Julian Edelman backed it up.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, no, I can understand why.
Okay, well, you know what? We have a differing opinion here. My prediction is that Jimmy G will be on the San Francisco 49ers when the season starts.
I would definitely say that, yeah. No, if I had to guess,
thought you said he was going to be traded to the Browns.
That's under the condition of how long Deshaun Watson will be traded or will be suspended.
Yeah.
then the Browns will try to get Jimmy G because he's a better
When's the
long-term
suspension
starter.
going to be announced?
He was put in front of a disciplinary judge last week. The ruling was actually supposed to come out a few days ago, but I don't know what any updates recently. So it could be next week. It could be a week from now. Who knows? It's right now up to the judge to finally make, I believe it was her call on, how long. It's looking towards a 6 to 8 game suspension. I think it should be a year, but who knows?
Okay.
I think we're going to wrap it up for this Harvey Hour. Thank you for everyone who tuned in today.
Great show.
It was a very, very good show. My name is Nathan Harvey. That's my dad, Stephen Harvey.
Bye.
We're the Harvey Hour. We'll catch you guys next time.